Alrighty, welcome to episode 254 of Tokwa's Ask Us Anything. As usual, it's been a pretty busy news week. Tesla posted Q1 production and delivery results with approximately 408,000 cars produced and 358,000 delivered. It also reported the deployment of 8.8 gigawatt hours of energy storage products. Tesla has announced its Q1 earnings call will be held on Thursday morning, the 23rd of April at 5:30 Perth time. Intel has officially joined the Terafab project alongside Tesla, SpaceX, and xAI. The joint venture chip factory planned for the North Campus of Giga Texas aims to produce 1 terawatt of annual compute capacity, roughly 50 times current global AI chip output. Intel's CEO Lip-Bu Tan says his company will bring advanced process technology and high-volume fabrication expertise to the effort. For Tesla, it means a secured silicon supply chain for autonomy, robotics, and energy products at a scale no one else is attempting. Tesla's latest supercharger installation has been completed in Pacolban, New South Wales. This is Australia's 150th supercharger installation, some 18 months since the 100th site was installed. And that was this week's news. And once again, welcome to the program. And as is customary, if there is anyone who is new and is comfortable in doing so, please unmute and say hello. Or perhaps a little bit later on.
Oh no, sorry.
right.
Hello,
Oh.
hello all.
Chris.
Hi. I tried to come last week, but well, I think I saw Paul briefly on the video, but then
Yeah.
I disconnected. Sorry.
So welcome, Chris. And apologies to everyone. I did forget on the previous Ask Us Anything to mention that there wouldn't be one last week. I had to attend an event. And it was remiss of me not to warn everyone during the previous, at the start and end of the previous episode. But
I did jump on at
apologies.
I did jump on at 7:30 and let people know.
Yeah, cool. I specifically didn't send out one of those pesky spam emails saying Ask Us Anything is on tonight because it wasn't. But obviously, I know we're sort of made up of, let's call it the usual suspects that come on almost all the time. Sorry, every week, and then there are other people that come on every now and then. So yeah, like I said, once again, apologies for that, but that was my bad.
It was all right.
But yeah, Chris, welcome.
Had a little chat.
Yes, no
For
doubt.
an hour or so. While Dad was away, we could get it.
That's right.
That's not recorded. You could say
when the grown-ups are out, the kids will play. So
yeah, exactly.
That's And the good thing is it wasn't being recorded, so whatever happened, it was between the participants. So that's all good. All right. So obviously, it's been a fortnight since the last Ask Anything. So the news sort of spans that sort of era. So we do have production and delivery, which these days not many people really care about because it's really not Tesla's main game. Notwithstanding that, of course, next quarter will be interesting because, as we all know, Tesla has sold out of all inventory items. BYD has. I met people I didn't meet them. I saw them at the footy on the weekend, and the lady next to me has ordered an Atto 2 because she's budget conscious. She's been told she only ordered it 2 weeks ago, and it may arrive in July or August. So everyone is sold out of EVs. No doubt Tesla's Q2 in Australia and probably in many other places of the world will be literally as many as they can make, as hard as they can make them under the circumstances. We've got the Intel being involved with the Terafab. And please, anyone do jump in if you want to comment on. Actually, anyone want to comment about the production delivery report or whatever?
It was good to
move on.
It was good to see that production was it 40 or 50,000 units more than deliveries.
Yep.
So there should be some in inventory, which, as you said, would have all gone by now, but would have been good for Tesla to go into the quarter with a bit of extra inventory for once. So,
Yeah, so to that point, some people go, "Oh, there's an extra 50,000 they have to carry, and this is their days of inventory is blowing out." And in a few years ago, it was as little as sort of 14 days or 15 days of inventory, which in the car industry is literally unheard of. In fact, the normal legacy car industry just can't cope like that. It just doesn't function because they have something like
60 days.
90 or no, much more, 90 or 120 days of inventory because they do count the inventory. And I'm not even sure if they count what goes to the dealers. But anyway, Cern Basher, so if you know, he's a great retail analyst, I guess, retail shareholder. And he's on various YouTube channels. And in fact, he actually has his own company, I believe, providing financial advice. But he had a great graph where he corrected because he basically said, on average, the true time from building a car to having it sold, the worldwide average is about 14 days. So obviously, if you go and build a car at Fremont or at Giga Texas, and you collect it from Fremont or Giga Texas, the time it's in transit, let's call it, is hours or a day. But all the cars we get in Australia come from Shanghai. In fact, every single car. And that takes several weeks, especially if it sometimes has a little holiday.
Not every single car, Harold. There's a few coming from Berlin. Model Y Performance.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Sorry. No, you're dead right, Pete. The Model Y Performance comes from Berlin now, or should I say, the refreshed Model Y, the Juniper Model Y Performance. Sorry, yeah, apologies. And that actually probably takes even longer. So, by necessity, by sheer physics of having it's like the speed limit, the speed of light limit. You can't get your car to a customer instantly just because you really want to. It literally isn't physically possible. So it makes sense that Tesla's days of inventory have to be at least as long as the average transit time, which is 14 days. So that basically pegs a floor on the days of inventory. So anyway, no one cares. And like you said, Pete, that 50,000 cars, in fact, they've already been sold. You can guarantee that, basically, except for some that might have been on the ship just at the end of March. So that's not a concern. If we move on to... Oh, and by the way, it is worthwhile to mark the 150th Supercharger site in Australia. So it's 18 months since it was 100. So I guess they're doing 50 sites every 18 months, which is a good thing.
That's about 33% annual growth. So in Australia.
Yeah, it is. And let's hope they keep that up. And yeah, let's hope one day
not in WA over the last 12 months, but we'll have to catch up now.
So Osborne Park is well progressing. All the stalls are in. Of course, it could be it's a matter of weeks, if not less, for that to be up and running. 2 weeks. Sorry, I've just been battling with my chair. It keeps sagging. So that's really cool. But yeah, it's great to have 150 sites growing at 33% on average, Pete. Let's hope look, if we just keep growing at that rate, that would be good because the fleet of Teslas is not growing at that rate. So actually superchargers there'll be more of them available, hopefully, than there are cars. Notwithstanding, most of the new sites are open to all EVs, which is great, but then that adds pressure. So, but it's still good. One of the other items was obviously the Terafab, which is a long-term project, as we hopefully all understand. Intel has now joined with the Tesla, xAI, and SpaceX, let's call it joint venture or whatever it is. And that's sort of good because what that actually now does is it means that Tesla is now connected to all three major chip fabricating companies, TSMC, Samsung, and now Intel. And Intel's involvement is basically they said they are going to refactor chip production. Now, what refactoring means is basically completely changing the way it's done. So, in effect, they're going to throw away the rule book and they're going to use first principles designing to completely change the way they make silicon chips and memory and all that sort of stuff, which is exactly what Elon Musk wants, because, and that's what he said at the announcement of Terafab, that he said there are some very promising new physics to do with microprocessor or whatever silicon chip production, and he wants to experiment with those and rapidly iterate. So having Intel join is actually a positive thing because it gives Tesla exposure to the maximum diversity possible. Basically, all three of the world's biggest semiconductor manufacturers are involved in Tesla's ecosystem, and Tesla is a customer of all, will be a customer of all three of them. So there'll be internal competition and all that sort of stuff. And there was some thought, well, what if maybe the Terafab might be a waste because all the other chip makers will just spool up their production and provide Tesla with all the chips they need. And if that's the case, then the job's been done, because all that Tesla and SpaceX want is as many semiconductors as they can use. And at the moment, that's vastly more than are being made. So it's actually a win-win. If they have to build a Terafab and make the chips they need, then that's great. If they get halfway towards building it and everyone else makes enough for what they need, then they can either keep building it or abandon it. It doesn't matter what they do, they win. So it's a very positive thing for Tesla. Alrighty, anyone got any questions or comments? No, so all right. Well, thanks for joining us.
I think John was trying to talk, but he's on mute.
Sorry, John, I didn't see you there. Yes,
I'm not on mute
Yep.
now. That's okay. With the production maxed out in Shanghai, I'm guessing, do you think there's any scope to widen Berlin's export to here if we're really struggling for? I know it's just performance that won't cut it for a lot of the market, but that's the only factory they've got to increase, isn't it?
Yes, but then who knows what the European demand suddenly is too. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, with this oil crisis, look, there's no reason to believe that people aren't scrambling for EVs worldwide, really, because it makes sense. So one thing we don't know is, up until, let's call it, a few weeks ago, what was Tesla's global capacity compared to their global production? Like, has Shanghai always been running flat strap? We know Berlin hasn't. So you're right, John. Well, yeah, look, the problem is it's all multifaceted. With the oil crisis, you've got a shortage of plastics, because a lot of PVC and all that sort of stuff is produced in the Gulf, and there are shortages, and hence the pricing's gone up. There'll be logistics factors, shipping costs have gone up. So it'd probably be a real challenge for Tesla to very quickly spool up all of their tier one and other suppliers to get them to spool up all their production, when perhaps there are more constraints than anything else. So yeah, I don't know,
Could be
John.
anything, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, Tesla have always been super responsive. So a few years ago during COVID, I think it was, we had the whole world looked like it was going to go into a massive recession. So then a lot of the chip fabricators actually stopped growing or stopped expanding. And then what that meant was that there was a massive microcontroller shortage. And a lot of the normal OEMs, the legacy car makers, they said things like, well, we can't ship out these entire cars because one chip isn't required in the media control unit or whatever. And of course, their problem was, well, if you can't fit one component, then you can't ship the whole car, and you're stuffed. Tesla actually worked really, really quickly and went, well, we design all our subcontrollers in our car. We will just substitute it for another semiconductor and reprogram it and get boards made, and we will continue shipping. So Tesla, because they were so vertically integrated and they were so responsive, they could very quickly overcome these certain chip shortages, which the other legacy car makers just simply couldn't. So they were actually decontenting their cars, the legacy ones, or just not selling them for a while. So in this current crisis, have no doubt that Tesla will do whatever it can and is required to make as many cars to fill the orders that they no doubt have. So, but yeah, look, it's possible. Look, it's the thing is, since I'm sure if you lined up a Model Y Performance with a Model Y long range, one from Berlin and one from Shanghai, you line them up side by side, you probably couldn't tell which one came from where.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's John, you're actually dead right. If for whatever reason there was an ability to direct some cars from Europe to Australia or other markets, yeah, of course they would. They'd spool up production if they could and do that. Yeah, of course. It'd make perfect sense. Because let's face it, people are prepared to pay, will be prepared to pay more for the cars.
See, South Korea and Japan have had phenomenal first starts to the year for Tesla. They're just killing it. So that's going to potentially threaten how many we can get down here too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, if you look on Tesla's website, for example, if I recall correctly, the Model 3 standard range, well, I forget what they call it now. Model 3 premium rear-wheel drive. No, I think it's standard range. Is still only May, June. The 750 kilometer WLTP Model 3 rear-wheel drive long range, that's blowing out to July, August. Or was it June, July? One or the other. That's blowing out. I think it's very popular. But Model Ys are still, and the Model YL is blowing out to June, July, or July, August, or something like that. But most of the other units are still saying May, June, or April, May, actually. No, May, June. So it's hard to tell. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions or comments?
I've been watching a few videos on the Model YL by some of the influencers and YouTubers, and geez, it looks like a really, really great car.
Has it got speed boost, Pete? Do you know yet?
I think it will have, Damo. It's all but certain to have, because it's an all-wheel drive, so it's all but certain. So, for example, I do know that the later versions of the refreshed Model Y, so after the launch edition, which had it included, they definitely do have speed boost as a purchase item. So there's no reason to believe that the YL wouldn't also have speed boost.
Yeah. What a ride on speed boost, that thing. It's wicked.
It's already a 5-second car, 0 to 100. So without it, well,
It's
probably
slow,
going to be 4.5 seconds or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or 4.4 or something. Yeah. We'll find out, because I'll get speed boost as soon as it arrives, Pete.
Oh, you've ordered one, Harold.
Oh, yeah, Damo, we discussed that a week or two ago.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't. If I'm not in here, I'm at work, basically.
No, that's cool.
It's 4.1 actually. I got it.
Is that on speed boost, or is that
Yeah.
on the performance?
No, it's just
Wow.
the long range.
But the long range in the 5-seat configuration
Yeah.
is faster to begin with. It's 4.6 to begin with. So less the half second, it makes sense that you're at 4.1. Whereas this starts at 5. So take the half second off and you'll be at 4.5 or thereabouts.
What does the
Or they
standard
made-
Model Y long range do with speed boost? It's like 3.8, isn't it? Is it low 4s or high 3s?
Oh, I thought it was
No,
4.1.
it's low 4s.
Low
It's low
4s.
4s.
With the speed boost?
Yes.
Yeah, 4.1.
Okay, sorry,
You
I
know,
thought it was a little bit quicker, but that's still
4.3.
Well, the performance is 3.7 seconds. No.
So, look, it's as the classic spec sheet used to show on the Rolls Royces when it had engine output power or something. It didn't have a figure in horsepower or whatever. It just said adequate. Literally, apparently. I've never seen it, but I've been told it says it would say adequate. So I dare say 4 point anything seconds is adequate. Bearing in mind, you don't just drag off people at the lights because it gets old pretty quickly. Or should I say, you look like a bit of a an ID 10T person.
I was going to say a Tesla tussle, mate.
Be on FSD anyway, Harold. So
Yeah, so
you won't be
and you'll be on FSD. Exactly. That's right, Damo. You're not going to be burning people off because you're just going to be sitting in the car with your arms folded, going, "How good is it to have this chauffeur that's doing all this stuff and not getting flustered or whatever?" So, but if you want to overtake people safely on a highway and you need to get from 80 k's an hour to the speed limit, only officially, then you can do that very rapidly. And because the motors are basically the same in the performance. I think there's a couple of minor exceptions, but basically the speed boost, I think, but effectively returns the power at the upper band and doesn't give you that low down acceleration as much. So it's a little bit still boggy at the bottom end, like when you're standing still, but it unleashes all the additional power when you're going faster, which means if you lined up a performance to a speed boosted normal car, Tesla, I think that if you had a test track and you were both side by side doing 80 k's an hour and you floored it, I'm pretty sure both cars would end up at the same speed in the same position from that speed. I think the speed boost or the lack of performance or speed boost only affects the bottom part of the performance, which no one cares about because we're not burning people off the lights.
I might disagree with that. I've driven both of them, so the performance is still a lot quicker, a lot better.
Hey, Pete,
You mean
that
the-
3.7 for the performance, is that a figure from Tesla? Because
It
I've
is.
seen one on a draggy now do 3.5 something to 100 and quarter mile in 11:53.
That's about right.
But yeah, 3.7 is the Tesla quoted 0 to 100.
So they're a little bit quicker than spec, pretty much.
Yep.
So yeah, but
For a big car like that, it's pretty wild.
I agree with you, Terry. I think even at the higher end, the performance is still quicker. But yeah, like Harold said, the biggest difference is off the mark, the 0 to 40 or 0 to 50.
No.
I got rid of my performance because I only got 2 points left.
It's not just the performance that gets you your points.
That's what FSD's for, or autopilot.
Okay, when are we
Nowadays.
getting 4.3 now? 14.3.
Well, Terry, we haven't even got 14 point anything yet.
I know,
So,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm the same. I mean, like my license was in a dire situation, but FSD saved me pretty much. big time.
Yeah, right, Damo. But do take note. So, for example, we had a Facebook member on Tokwa's Facebook page lament that she wasn't aware that when you're on the Kwinana Freeway going north towards the Narrows Bridge, and the speed limit changes from 100 down to 80. Now, the car on FSD, proper FSD, hardware for FSD, on the speed detected, or the speed sign detection, shows the 80 kilometers an hour, but the actual maximum speed that the car is abiding by or looking at or referencing to is still 100. It doesn't change. So
There's a
she went
lag.
through the camera setup under the Mill Point Road on ramp and got two separate speeding fines. And she literally, honestly, wasn't aware of the speed she was doing, or aware that the speed she was doing was the incorrect speed. And she sort of lamented the fact that it actually takes time to get the fine. So you don't even, if you had if you went through a speed camera or something and you got an email 10 seconds later, well, when you got home, you could at least go, oh, bugger, now I know that that's a thing to be aware of. So as good as FSD is, there's still foibles. So it will happily go through a speed zone in excess of the correct speed.
100%.
And it's just something you need to be aware of. So I guess it's that Russian thing, trust but verify.
I went through this with the old car. Remember, I got done 100 in 80 on the freeway. It didn't pick up the sign, so I sort of know. But mine's actually been really good because I just run 0 offset, and it's it's been pretty good with like dropping down to the right speed limit for traffic lights and stuff like that. But I 100% know what you're saying, Harold.
Yeah, and look, this is, again, we really, as it turns out, we've been having some minor updates that they're not really calling revisions, but there's some minor tweaking going on with people that have got hardware for FSD. But the main game is basically version 14, and once that drops, then that should be a big difference. And yeah, strict speed limit adherence, up or down, would be great. And it will come. The software we're using now is the worst it'll ever be, so it will get better.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and it's funny, Damo. We won't get you to put it on because it's being recorded to YouTube. But I must admit, Damo sent me. Damo, just describe what you get. Just describe what you do with Grok in the car.
Ugh. I haven't really listened apart from a couple of podcasts. I just talk to Grok now, and yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like talking to a person when he's on, when he's got good speed, good connection, and everything. You wouldn't even know sometimes you're talking to a bot. It's amazing.
Well, what
I
about
get him to sing songs and everything. It's so funny.
So
it's like
please,
hilarious.
So tell us what sort of songs you get it to sing, Damo.
Whatever we're
Going
doing
past
at
a
the
petrol
time.
station.
If I just tell him to sing a song, he just like starts singing about where you are, and
Well,
there was one we were going through Nollamara or something. He was saying, "Wind your windows up through Nollamara" or something. He was saying, like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and so, Damo sent me a couple of videos, and one of them was, "Hey Grok, make a video, sing a song about going past a petrol station on autopilot." And I guess you had it in unhinged mode, Damo, I presume, because it was just
that's unhinged. And I tell him to drop the nice guy act in unhinged as well.
And it was making up this song. I'm gonna paraphrase, going past the petrol station, and all these suckers are paying for petrol, and they're this and that, and I'm on autopilot, and I don't give a concern about anyone that is there. And it's just, it's funny because when Damo recorded it, he was instantly laughing at various things that Grok was singing, and it actually does it in a singing voice. Oh, it's hilarious.
That's like, there's been better ones than that, even, Harold. And The one where I pulled in the driveway the other day and I said, "Oh, I'm thinking about selling you and buying a BYD." He didn't like that. Bro was not happy at all.
Right. Good to know. Good to know.
I sent you that one, didn't I? The BYD one?
No, no, he only sent me a couple. It was mainly about petrol stations, I think. I can't exactly
Oh,
remember.
I
I'll
think
have
I
to
did
look
send
back.
you the BYD one. Have a look.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Maybe you
it's funny
did.
as a.
Maybe you did. But yes,
Probably
for anyone that's got compliant cars, which are the
hardware 4.
Intel, no, for Grocket, you need the
Oh
Intel,
yeah.
uh,
Sorry, no, you're right.
whatever
Intel. No,
processor, or is
yeah, I
it
think
the
so.
AMD Ryzen? Oh, gee, now I can't quite
Ryzen.
I'll
I
remember.
have
check
it on
mine.
my hardware
So,
3
so
So
Ryzen.
AMD,
say us again, Steve.
AMD,
I have
not
it on my
Intel.
hardware 3 Ryzen. So yes.
Yeah,
And you have
AMD.
Grok. It's Ryzen,
Yeah,
AMD Ryzen.
yeah,
Great.
yeah. It's not on mine, but it's on my wife's Model Y.
Yeah,
So
why
that's
would you
how I
have
sort
the
of know.
boy? Why would you have the boy and not the girl, Lara?
I agree, Terry, but I'll let Damo explain that.
What
Takes
was
all
that?
time.
Sorry, I missed
Why
it.
have you got the man Grok and not the girl Grok?
Because he's a bro.
But
That's right.
she becomes your new wife.
You should hear him like argue with Calais, and she starts yelling at him in Thai, and he starts yelling at her in Thai, like straight back in a split second, and then it's like she's talking to a Thai person. It's amazing. Oh, he can speak over 200 languages as well. If anyone interested,
Wow.
I got him to count out every language, and he just reeled them off one after the other in alphabetical order.
That's amazing. So in other words, you and your wife can have ongoing conversations with Grok in your own native language, and when you talk to it, it'll reply back in English, and when she talks to it, it'll reply back in Thai.
I say to him, bro, tell me what you're talking about. Reply everything in English. And he's like, yep, just tells me straight back their whole conversation in English. It's like unbelievable.
Busted.
So it's basically so that can act as a live translator then. If you've got someone who's in your car with a different language,
Oh,
you could
100%.
get Grok to effectively translate between you.
100%.
And
I
it
push
does.
the hell out of him. I tell him, tell me this in German. Okay. Then tell me this in,
What you really
whatever
meant to say,
language. Yeah.
Damo, what you really meant to say is tell me all the swear words in German. Tell me what this swear word is in German and Russian and whatever.
There's this one language he can speak in Africa, and he reckons that there's only 3 people left living in the world that can speak it.
Wow.
And it does all different types of like Neapolitan, they're like Italian, Roman, all sorts of different dialects as well.
Caprese.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I asked him, what's your IQ? It's like, and he goes, bro, what did he say? I don't do the IQ test. I make the IQ test. But if you want to put a number on it, I'd be well over 160. And when I get more compute, it's just going to keep going up.
Dearie me.
It's
Excellent.
pretty good as a tour guide as well. So if you're going somewhere where you haven't been, or even where you have been and you know what it should be saying, it's quite interesting. So yeah,
Ask him about the history of the area that you're in, Pete.
I was asking it about Kings Park, and he was telling me that it's one of the biggest, 400 hectares, one of the biggest inner city parks in the world, bigger than Central Park, and blah blah. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Did you ask him where he put the body?
The LTE electric down.
Too soon.
Moving right along. So,
No oil
yes.
in the Teslas.
There's no oil in. There is actually in the
No, there is
diff.
in your motor.
There's some diff oil. Yeah,
There's only a little bit.
in the motor. Alrighty. Hey, has anyone got any normal curious Tesla questions? If anyone who's recently gotten a car or had anything quirky happen to their car, please feel free to ask away or have a look in the chat. Sorry, James, I'm not actually reading the chat because I'm doing other things. But if there's any normal basic questions rather than just middle-aged men talking about stuff,
You
which I'm
started
all,
it.
which I are one. That's true. That's exactly right. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions or they're curious about their car or charging it or whatever, I mean, I do note that the price of the Tesla's wall connector is now $800, including GST. It's gone up incrementally, but still represents the best value for money. I mentioned earlier that my football neighbours, I guess you call them, lady's buying an Atto. She said that friends of hers recently got an EV of some sort, and they bought an AC charger from somewhere for $3,000,
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
which I gasped at and went, oh, like I did exactly that. Oh, that was far too much. And I did say to her, I mean, she's getting a car in July, August, so I said, look, I'm not going to bombard you with information now because it'll be just too overwhelming. But, just go to Tesla's website and oh, Shane, I'm echoing through you. I'll just have to mute you for a bit. My voice is echoing back to you, Shane. So if you can turn on, I don't know, echo cancellation in Zoom or something, that'd be cool. So I said, you can just go to Tesla's website and order it retail, one-off purchase delivered to your door for $800, and then just get an electrician to install it. Any electrician, basically. So that's a little snippet, just as a reminder that really Tesla it's not just the best charger or power source because Tesla make it. It's also because it's one of the cheapest ones for what you get. Alrighty. Anyone got any questions or comments?
Uh,
Chris has got a question on software updates.
Over 3 weeks still. Oh, right. Great. Chris, so what you've got is 2025.44.400. Now, I've come to learn a little while ago that the .400 means that it's for, you say in here, understand brand new models may have to wait. Yes. So, don't know why, but Tesla seems to often ship out newly made cars in what they call a .400 or a .200. And one of the quirks of that is that for things like FSD and certain other features, they are on what's called the mainstream software release, which may be a fair bit older than unfortunately, older than the factory release. And it's got to do with, if you imagine the releases go in branches, and they will have the core branch, which has got all of the stuff that is, that they've released everything on FSD, all the features. And then they'll have newer branches that they're working on, and they'll actually put those newer things on the factory cars, but they haven't put in all the features yet, such as porting FSD or certain grok or other things. So perversely, you can get a newer car than everyone else, and it has less features for a while. This actually happened to my wife and one of my mates, where they bought they bought a model, a Juniper or the new Model Y, but it was after the launch edition. So I think when the Model Y, refreshed Model Y could first be ordered, all of the all-wheel drive ones were the launch edition, which had the speed boost built in and cost more money. After that stopped being sold, if you bought an all-wheel drive or long range, it basically wasn't the launch edition. And those cars, when they finally arrived, had this newer software, which meant that anyone that even had FSD on that car or had transferred it or purchased it couldn't get it for about a month. So for my wife, it was okay because we were on a holiday in New Zealand. For my mate, he had to wait 3 or 4 or 5 weeks before FSD was added to this newer version stream, and then was rolled out. So, yeah, Chris, you're dead right. So one of my concerns, because obviously, because I'm an idiot, as soon as I get my Model Y L, I'll take it for a lap because I want to see what it does. My only fear is I won't be able to plan that. I can't book hotel rooms and stuff until I know that FSD actually works on it. Otherwise, I might have to wait for up to a month after I get it. Because I'm not going to drive a car around Australia anymore that hasn't got FSD on it, because it's just going backwards. So there you go.
Mm.
Alrighty. Anyone else? Yes, Murray.
I'm echoing through you. I don't know if I can turn the volume down or...
That's right. If you just persist with the question, just go off the question, Murray, and then I'll try and answer it.
I was just going to tell you about a trip I've just done up to Wodonga and back for the Easter break. Very sparse charging options on the way up to the Brand Highway, but Eneabba is great, really fast.
So, Murray, is it still the case that only one of the two chargers is working, the ABB dual outlet chargers?
No, there's 4 chargers there, or 4 stands.
No, there's two.
Sorry,
two boxes and 2 nozzles each box. But did you see or notice whether one of the boxes wasn't working? Because according to PlugShare, only one of them works.
No, I used the one on the right, or the
yes,
west. And
that's the one that works. Yes. Yep.
Operating. I didn't try the middle ones.
No worries. Sorry, sorry. Apologies for interrupting you. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what we're here for. Yeah, but even though it's expensive compared to other sites, it's still very cheap. The biggest problem is the only thing you get until you get right down to Allen Brook or something on the way back. So I was sitting on 100 to make it comfortable. Wodonga has 2 wall chargers there.
Yes. You mean at the near the hotel?
At the hotel.
Yeah. Yep. Which used to be a petrol station, it looks like. It's still in that. Yep.
Yeah, that was very good.
So, Murray, did you not consider maybe going on the Indian Ocean Drive, and then you could have picked up, well, you wouldn't have needed the supercharger at Lancelin, or you could have picked up the WAV network at Jurien Bay?
I could have, but I didn't really want to use them.
Yeah, no, totally cool. Yep.
I've driven up there before. What else? There is a 3-phase plug at Dandurrigan, but that's almost a waste of time. You've got to have the plug and you've got to find it as well.
Yep. Apologies for everyone who's getting the entertaining echo. Actually, Murray, I might let just try and have a little look at your settings. I mean, I presume you've got a laptop or something like that, and you're playing, obviously, things back through the speakers, and it's picking up on the microphone. So if there's any setting you can see under the audio section of Zoom for echo cancellation, that'd be really cool. But definitely do get back to us.
It was a
go, James.
Very interesting drive from Adelaide to Melbourne on Easter Monday. Every charger was full. We had a 25-minute wait. Our own fault. We stopped at Keith, and there's only 3 chargers, and there's a bakery, and we stopped at lunchtime. So there's a 25-minute wait then, and we done the old driven past one that was free, in expectation of getting in a nice lunch in. So never drive past a working charger for one that you got to wait for. But we had a few
charging.
Yeah.
What was that, Steve?
A
Sorry,
brand-
you just went over when James said something. I couldn't hear
Yeah,
you.
with the delay. Sorry, James. It was the always be charging, ABC.
Yeah, we did, but it's obvious the Tesla app is really good. It was trying to reroute you to the least used ones with the least time and what you really need to do. I tell you what, but we said no, we know better. We'll go to Keith because there's a nice bakery there, and obviously it didn't matter because we had a 20-minute wait for the charger, but there was a 30-minute wait in the bakery.
Wow. Right. But of course, it would have been nicer to be charging and waiting for the bakery.
Yes.
But anyway, anywho. By the way, before I get you to describe the experience of driving across the Nullarbor, knowing that I already know the answer, and I would have already known the answer before you started, but every time I've gotten a lot recently, and I've tweeted out or posted out that I'm charging at or on the way towards Kimber, you always tell me that that's the best curry, Indian curry on earth. And I always lament back going, yeah, but I got there at like midnight or I got there at whatever. Did you actually get to eat what you suggested is one of the best products on earth?
We arrived at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
And we thought, no, we'll go one extra stop. And we got there after they closed. Well, that was open, but no hot food being sold.
Yeah.
I can second that one. We had curry there. It was very nice.
None of my laps have ever lined up in modern times. So, yeah. So, James, tell us about your experience. Let's start from when you left Coolgardie.
Yep. We charged 100% in Coolgardie and drove slowly to Norseman.
Why'd you drive slowly?
Because we didn't want to spend 4 hours at Norseman.
Oh, hang on. There's a 150
AC
kilowatt DC charger.
AC only charging. And so we were smart. We got up at 3 a.m, left Coolgardie because we checked plug share, knowing that there was a BMW in Balladonia. So we wanted to make sure we got there before he did.
Going the other direction.
Yeah, going the other direction. And we did. We got there 2 hours before him. And so we had to wait for an hour for us. We didn't charge fully. We charged just enough. And we got to Balladonia, and Balladonia was running Norseman was only AC only.
AC. Yep.
Bring your own cable. He arrived after we'd been there for 2 hours, and we were gonna stay there until he charged, but we needed another 40 minutes, so we waited patiently for 40 minutes. Got to Balladonia, and we got about half the charge we needed, and it dropped down to 7 kilowatts on the DC charger. We swapped.
So what charge what charge level did it start at, James?
It started at 32, 34.
So that's less than normal too, because it's supposed to be a 50 kilowatts.
Yep. So we were starting about 32, so not nowhere near the 40 kilowatts. And then
50.
after about 20 minutes, it just dropped down to 8 kilowatts. Then luckily we had a little program that told us how much we could make it on. And so we left Balladonia with expected arrival of 0%, driving at 90 kilometers an hour. And luckily we got stuck behind a slow moving road train that was doing about 80 kilometers an hour. So we just sat behind him and we arrived with 6%.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you got to Kaiguna.
A nice fast charge there at about, I think it was about 30 kilowatts at Kaiguna.
So remind me what the nameplate power you're supposed to get
I think it says, but
Yep.
So we were going
to. And what'd you get? 32 kilowatts.
For a brief moment, then it went down to 30. So we stayed there for about an hour and a half. And then we went on to Majura Pass.
Oh, Majura Pass. So what was the DC charging like at Majura Pass?
Oh, fantastic. It doesn't work at all. There is zero DC charging.
Yes.
So we drove in. We parked up on the AC charger, put the bed out in the back of the Tesla, and slept for 4 hours while that charged. So that managed to get us up. We woke up at about 4 in the morning, fully charged. So we made the mistake of, we know that Mundrabilla doesn't work reliably. So we drove straight past Mundrabilla to the brand new one at Border Village, because they got a brand new shiny one there, NRMA. And we got 75 kilowatts of fast charging for 12 minutes. Then the entire thing shut down.
All right. So it just went
Light
dead.
went off, everything. Not just the charge. It's a separate charger. Roadhouse was still up. This was, I think,
Yep.
we arrived
Yeah.
at
Self-contained. Yep.
4 in the morning. Completely shut it down. It did reboot, so we got it back on, and then a minute later it shut down completely. Didn't reboot.
So was the generator running at any stage at night?
No. The
Yep.
eclipse is night, so we went off, plugged into 15 amps, and slept again. And then 3 hours later, we went back, and it was running. The generator was running, and it had some charge, and we got, don't quote me on this, probably 43 kilowatts while it was while the generator was running, and we got enough to limp into Nullarbor Roadhouse.
Nullarbor.
And that was now full sunshine, sunny day, all good. And so that managed to squeeze out 30 kilowatts.
Well, sorry. So Nullarbor, which is nameplate 80 kilowatts per
Yep.
outlet. Sorry, Nullarbor. The Nullarbor and Border Village have two tritium RTMs. They're rated at 75 kilowatts, I think, each. If you have two cars on the one unit, it'll share. But their nameplate specification is that site's supposed to do, let's call it a total of 150 kilowatts, 75 each way. What did you get at Nullarbor?
30 kilowatts at Nullarbor.
See, this is we have
And
national
hence my
government.
arrival at Kimber after the curry had been stopped being served.
Oh yeah. So if you if you think for a minute, what time do you think you would have gotten to Kimber had everything worked properly at
We
its
would have
nameplate?
We would have got to Kimber at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. And instead you
So
got
just in
there
time
at
for dinner.
10 after
By the
10.
And that was, we would have, the plan was to get there at 5 o'clock, leaving at 6 o'clock. But instead we left at 2 a.m. in the morning and got there at 10 o'clock at night.
In fact, I suggest that had you had proper charging at Norseman, proper charging at Balladonia, nameplate charging. So let's say if Norseman was working, Balladonia was working, Kaiguna was working. It doesn't matter whether about Mundrabilla, but let Majura Pass.
Majura Pass, yeah.
You probably wouldn't have overnighted at Majura Pass because you would have
No.
actually overnighted at Border Village or something, or more, or further. Because you said you spent 3 hours charging you wasted 3 hours charging at Norseman, so you could have been probably close, and you had slow charging everywhere thereafter. Rather than getting to Majura Pass, you probably could have gotten to Nullarbor Roadhouse, in which case the correct answer is actually you would have been at Kimber probably in the morning, not at some time in the morning, not at 10 p.m. because you would have the unreliability and astonishing lack of any government's care, whether it be the state government talking about the WAV network or the federal government talking about the national $38 million co-funded 117 site NRMA partnered national highway which clearly the federal government and its minister, Bowen, has just basically accepted defeat and said, well, it's all just a little bit too hard because of that ineptitude. And unfortunately, James, you're going to come across the Queensland government's ineptitude
that's
with the
That-
Queensland, the QESH, the Queensland Electric Superhighway, which you're going to get all of these locations where the tritiums have just stopped working and they just haven't been bothered to fix them. It's a disgrace. It's appalling.
Yep. So it was over 2.5 hours at Norseman charging. 2.5 hours at Kaiguna charging. 4 hours at Majura Pass charging. And 2 hours at Border Village charging.
And had it actually been at nameplate all the way, all of those charging sessions could have been measured in less than an
35
hour.
to 40 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes.
It's just disgusting. It really is. And Chuck, I didn't realize I just saw, just trying to see where Chuck is.
Anyways, we have had a wonderful time.
There
And
is.
we're doing, and Grok has been the best tour guide. So as Damo was saying, you're going through somewhere, you say, hey, Grok, we're heading to this place here. Tell us somewhere to go and visit on the way. There's been telling us about solo arts, good wineries, everything. Nice places to go.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. Courtesy of Chuck, Charles, I'll just share. This is a financial review. I think it's a financial review article talking about basically Chris Bowen admitting defeat. So the options available to Bowen are to press ahead with the original network, which would likely involve a funding boost in an already constrained budget. That's option one. Abandoning the unbuilt stations in the hope commercial operators fill the gaps, or refocus the program on remote areas where it is uncommercial for private operators to build. I mean, it just goes from sublime to ridiculous. You know, politicians of all ilks and all stratas love to make big announcements and love to pronounce that the solution is at hand and we have the solution and this is it and look how good we are and look how good the national charging network will be, or the state one.
Can you
And yet,
show my photograph that I just put into chat?
yes, 2 seconds. I just got to leave it to load. So, what's this? Is that? Did you get Chris to come out and say hello? No, sorry, that's his poster, isn't it? So tell us about it, James.
Or Lillian Bartlett. But yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just got I just got a message saying the internet was unstable. Sorry, can everyone hear me properly?
You blanked out for a second.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad you guys didn't disappear because we've had that incident happen before. I'll just get back to it. Sorry, James. I don't think any of that was recorded. So if you can please just repeat what you were saying.
Yeah, we just thought we'd call past on the way through from WA to see how Chris was going. So this is the electorate in the east of Sydney. So we're passing through there today. We're in the Wyong at the moment. So unfortunately, he wasn't there. He was busy in a press conference, which didn't go well for him.
So did you rev your engine? Oh no, wait, sorry, that wouldn't work, would it? Right. Yeah, look, it's just this. I mean, it's great it went past it. Look, it would have been. Oh yeah. Anyway, I'm sure that ministers don't accept people just knocking on the front of their drop-ins. Yeah, that's right. But however, it would have been instructive for him to have accepted you, because you could give him the most up-to-date, fresh information about what the state of the EV charging nation is, and you could use just one word starting with the letter A and ending in G. Appalling. So obviously, James, you went, you endured the indignity of crossing the Nullarbor like a third class citizen. What was it like once you got to, even Ceduna?
Honey, like in a field of honey, a bee fluttering away from flower to flower with Grok, simply asking Grok, say, hey, where's a nice place to head here? Turn left here, turn right here. We've been to Ballarat, we've been to Melbourne, we've been to wineries, we've been to mining towns, all led by Grok with not a care. You don't even have to think. No plan,
So,
just say, hey, there's a nice solo art here, turn left now.
so have you been having to like do some mental maths about how high you have to charge your car to make it to the next place, or what
No,
do you do?
it's so different. You just ask Grok, where's somewhere nice for lunch? And you pull up and, oh, there's a charger over there.
Yeah, so you're in the land of milk and honey, and you'll be all the way up to Townsville
Yep.
with nothing but super reliable, always on live status, um, fast charging, no matter where you go, all the way to Townsville.
Yep.
If you can,
Just say, hey,
James.
Grok, we need a toilet break. Where's the cleanest, nicest toilets near here with a charger? And off you go.
If you go to New Italy during the day, James, the supercharger there, it's a fast supercharger, and you've got the canopy with the panels overhead. It's really
Where's that?
quiet. It's really quite relaxing. It's
Yep.
really comfortable. And then while you're charging, you stroll through the New Italy village. It's
Oh, yes. We're planning to stop in the New Italy village because
yep,
it's the brand new, biggest, fastest one there is.
yep. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Strange enough, we're
James,
detouring through Maitland just for a get a few photos for the family.
off your
And then we're
homeland.
going to yeah. Then we're going up to see a big guitar. Where's that? Tamworth. So I think we're
Tamworth.
staying in Tamworth tomorrow night.
If you
Should be a
go,
bit careful with. Sorry.
yeah, go, Chuck.
That's right. I was going to say should be careful with it, with the advice from Grok, because the week after it came out, I thought I'd test it. I was in a town up the east coast. I knew the closest fast charger was near a particular cafe, so I just said to Grok, "Oh, where's a good place to get a coffee and get a charge?" And it named some other cafe. Told me there were 2 destination charges out the front of it, which there weren't. Just completely lied to me. And then I said, no, they're not there. And they said, oh, sometimes they're around the side behind her head. It's like, no, you're just making it worse now. Come on, stop lying to me. So I don't know why it said that and why it didn't mention the fast charger that the car knows is there. But I don't know. And then I think I asked it if I had enough charge to get home, and it said, yeah, that's fine. You're 156 k's away. And I thought that sounds closer than I thought it was. And I asked where it got that figure from, and that's the as the crow flies distance.
Ah,
So
yes.
thanks a lot for that, Grok. That's helpful. I mean,
Was that in Assistant, Chuck, or in Unhinged?
I wasn't in Unhinged. I think it was just in Assistant, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I hadn't
Okay.
started playing with the variations at that point. But the car has a navigation system that's, as we all know, it's really smart. It knows elevation and speed limits. So
Yep.
you would think it would leverage that sort of capability when I'm talking to it, but who knows?
So in other words, be careful with Grok, because
Yeah.
when it comes to things like the car status or something, it's not going to be right, or some
Yeah.
destinations.
Yeah.
Just rolling very quickly back to New Italy, because Steve, you mentioned the canopy, and there it is there. So it's really, is it 12? I think there's 12 charges there, and they're all the version
It
4
might be 16,
cabinets.
Harold, because there's a drive-through. There are 4 that are separate.
Yeah, they're back here. There's
Yeah,
a couple at a
exactly.
drive-through. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a subtle flex, because that's my car there, and that's me in the car with the drone taking the photo on a lap. So just a little minor flex, but sorry
Yeah.
about that.
When I was there was about 2 other cars there. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And by the way, you mentioned New Italy, and there's little shop and stuff. James, get the super duper hot chorizo or whatever it is, And the cool thing
All
is, it's used by dates like 6 months because there's so much chili in it. It just doesn't go off ever. So do buy a couple of those, which I've done, and I haven't even started eating them yet. I'm just saving them for a, I don't know, whatever, rainy day. So that's in return for your best curry at Kimber tip.
No, right.
The best chorizo or whatever, and get the hottest. Just ask them whatever's the craziest, hottest one, because it's just, oh,
Well,
sorry, I just got watery gob.
the usual levels are mild, hot, super hot, and challenge the chef.
Is that a New Italy or is that?
No, I'm just
Oh no, I look. When there's a little break in conversation or when someone's talking about something, I'll run downstairs and grab it and tell you what it actually. In fact, I'll do that now. Go and talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a sec.
a friend of mine in Scarborough always gets the chili mussels, and he always asks for the challenge the chef version. And then he spends the next half an hour sweating in front of everyone while he's trying to eat the bloody thing.
Oh, what restaurant's that? You get it there?
You know where Peters by the Sea is in Scarborough? Yeah, so just to the left of it if you're looking at Peters by the Sea.
No worries.
Yeah. I used to I always laugh when we went to we'd always end up at Peters by the Sea, you know, after you've had a few drinks at midnight and you're starving, and we're all waiting for kebabs and you're just absolutely starving, and you know, you get your number and your number might be, I don't know, 35 or something, and they'll, or let's say 45, and they'll yell out and go, number 42, and you go, oh, I'm pretty close. Yeah, should get my soon. And then they'll go, number 44. And you go, number 9. And you go, what?
Yeah.
How'd you get? Yeah, they got number 37, number 8.
Okay, I've got it. I'll just spotlight. It's the most obvious name you could think of.
Oh yeah.
The Godfather.
Of course.
It has, and it's 100% Aussie. It's The Godfather. So there you go. Yes. Oh, yes. Whatever the users have said, Pete, in the only way you could say it. Yeah. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll go and put it back in the fridge. Oh, by the way, it said I got this last year, and it says batch date 17th of July 2025. Best before 12th of July 26. So
Well, you better have a sample for us, Harold. Just to bite the end off.
Oh no, that'll be no. Look, I love chili, so yes, and I do. They do say when they interview people and ask them what is the chili they like the most, it's the level just before you can't stand it. Like you just need, like, because if you can't stand it, that's just too much. But you just want to be an incremental, just 1 point below the level at which you can't stand. So there would be nothing that would make me happier than to get this and to get some nice mature, tasty cheese and just have that. Oh, anywho, I'm going to put it back in the fridge.
Fry it up with some little bit of fresh salad, fresh pasta.
Oh, that's a waste of good chorizo. Nah, mate, I wouldn't waste it. Nah. Anyway, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Just give me a sec. Oh, sorry, and I can't hear you, but talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I was going to say that wouldn't last in our household more than a week. So,
are you there, Pete?
I am.
Pete, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just checking if you were to buy the subscription for FSD for $149. Are you aware if AutoSummon still works with full self-driving computer 3?
No, it doesn't. It works with hardware 3, but not AI 4 or not hardware 4. But there's no point getting the subscription on a hardware 3 car, because all you're going to get is effectively the same as AutoSteer beta. So, which is, it's good. It's, first of all, it's only to be used on highways and freeways, basically major roads with a physical divider, no cross traffic, no parked cars, no roadworks, good visibility. You see where I'm going with it. But and it's better than pretty much anything else from any other manufacturer, but it's a fraction of what FSD supervised, with city streets on AI4 is. The AI4 version is, an order of magnitude or more better.
So, Pete, it actually functions like FSD supervised, but on hardware 3, as you said, it's a glorified autopilot. Chalk and cheese.
It's not even glorified. It's just autopilot. It's just the auto steer beta, which is the old autopilot. So it's no different. And I think it's probably, look, if you're going to be doing a long trip and doing a lot of driving on freeways, you can you can try it out. The only thing that you'll be able to do with that you can't do with a standard autopilot is change lanes. So have it change lanes for you, whether that's automatically or with you having to confirm it. And to be honest, that's pretty much it on the freeway.
Stop at traffic lights as well, Pete, and intersections.
Yeah, I didn't mention that because it's sort of, they say it can do that, but then they say you're not supposed to use it. You're only supposed to use it on major roads with a physical divider. So not too, So, major roads. So, not too many lights on the freeway, but so you can do that, and it will stop at give way signs as well and stop signs like Damo said. And it will auto park for you. So whether that's parallel or perpendicular, it will park both ways for you. If you've got hardware 3, you will be able to summon it. It's not. It is smart. It's basically dumb summon. It's not actual smart summon, which is what they have in the US. So it's more of a party trick rather than actually being a useful feature. That said, if you've come out of the shops and it's pouring rain, that's probably the one use case where it could be useful. But look, the good thing is, it's the most it might cost you is $149 if you remember to cancel it, because it's only done on a month-to-month basis, so you don't have to commit for 12 months or anything like that. So you can cancel it after a month. And especially if you've got a big long trip coming up, it might be worthwhile to have a bit of a play with. But just remember that actual FSD supervised with city streets is, it's night and day. It's 10 times better at least.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. So just to reiterate that, that's right. I've ordered a new Model Y L, and I wanted, as part of the furthering the order process, you basically on the app, your new reservation or new order appears, and then there are a number of tasks to do. So those tasks include telling Tesla how you want it registered, like whether it's in a business entity and a few other things, and they want the front and back of your driver's license photos so that when you go to collect the car, they can identify you. So, and one of the options is to transfer FSD. And had you ordered a car prior to the 1st of April, so 31st of March, as long as that car was ordered by then and you had a qualifying car that already had FSD, you could transfer it. So I, as it turns out, I've got a problem similar to Pete. I've got a couple of different cars in my account, and two of them said, yes, you can pick these cars to transfer FSD to the new car when it arrives. But my old car wasn't listed. So I went through this process of, I rang Tesla and they said, oh, you can, we'll have to fill out a manual form or an online form to do this transfer. Anyway, it wasn't intended, but what happened was I was driving my car along, went to the shops on FSD, and then because I sometimes go a different way to what the nav says, I manually drove for a little bit, then I engaged FSD. And as I got down to the end of a road and it was going to turn left, it did this weird behavior, and it seemed a little bit sketchy. And I thought, that's really weird, but I wasn't really thinking about what was going on. As it turns out, Tesla had removed FSD from my current car altogether, and all I had was autopilot. And
While you were
when you
driving?
no, it was between when I parked the car at the shops, got some food. When I jumped back in the car, the FSD had disappeared. Now it's a subtle difference. When you're on FSD, you see a central blue line when it's engaged, a central blue line. When you're on autopilot, you see a blue line either side of the lane markings or of your lane. And it's sort of subtle enough that, and let's face it, I'm not looking at the dash when I'm driving, or should I say the center screen. I'm looking at the street, at the cars and stuff. So I can absolutely attest to the fact that the difference between proper FSD, which is what hardware 4 cars currently have or can get or can use, compared to, like Pete I think described as, the so-called FSD that you can get on hardware 3 cars, is just autopilot with features, with benefits, like slightly better than just autopilot. The difference between those two driving functions is like chalk and cheese. It's because on classic autopilot you get it hunts it'll dive off to the side of the road or on a slip road. It does all the things that we used to, that most of us using FSD have forgotten that autopilot did. So yeah, it's absolutely chalk and cheese.
Okay.
But make no mistake, if you've got a hardware 3 car, Tesla is working intensely hard at crushing down the proper FSD software and having it work on hardware 3 cars. This is not theory, this is a fact, that they are working globally very hard on unleashing proper FSD on all the hardware 3 cars worldwide.
Awesome.
And we're talking millions of cars. But in the meantime, please don't subscribe to if you don't have FSD on your hardware 3 car yet, that you hadn't paid for completely, please don't subscribe to what Tesla still calls FSD on the hardware 3 cars, because it's not. It's what we all used to put up with before Tesla released the true FSD on the hardware 4 cars.
All right.
And Steve, I mentioned roads with no cross traffic. Reason being is if you do get any cars crossing the road in front of you, it's just way overcautious at the moment, and it will hit the brakes way too hard for anyone's comfort. So look, once you get used to it, it's going to happen. So you just put your foot on the accelerator and, you buffer it a little bit. Yeah. And it's no big deal, but, there's the FSD supervised just doesn't do that at all.
Yep.
So, but yeah, the, hardware 3 without city streets, it's not designed to be used with any cross traffic, no cars crossing the road in front of you.
Awesome. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Harold.
No worries. Chuck, I know obviously daylight saving thankfully has gone. we're in the dark era of the seasons.
Yes, I'd like to thank you for running the Ask Us Anything sessions an hour earlier for winter. It's very nice of you.
Just for you, Chuck. I get up earlier. I've got to wake up early. You know, and
That's right.
We're doing it for our wise men from the east, and ladies as well. Have you got any news or anything that we might not have covered, or anything quirky, or whatever's going on?
I think
the
you
Eastern
mentioned.
Seaboard?
I think you already mentioned the 150th supercharger.
Yes, that was at Pecolbin.
Colburn,
Colburn,
something
I
like
think.
that.
Yep.
Yep. Hunter Valley. Yep.
Yes,
That's it.
150th,
Going
and
there
at 18
tomorrow.
months. Sorry, who said that?
Me. I'll be there tomorrow.
Oh, James. Oh, you're back. Oh, sorry. I
cool.
thought
Very
you'd
good.
gone. Oh, you're back. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Fantastic. Oh,
Yeah,
cool. So
so
you
the-
can do a check-in, obviously. You go, Chuck.
Yeah. So the first 50 Australian sites took 6 years. The next 50 took 3 years, and the third 50 took 18 months.
That's a very nice exponential growth. If we
Yeah,
could
so-
maintain it, that would
we
be 9 months for the next 50. That'd be good.
That's it. That's it. We hope anyway. We'll have to see. And the other thing that I did a couple of weeks ago, I'll just paste a picture into the chat, which won't be of interest to most people in WA. But I know it's something that you've been egging me about for a while. So
Oh, yes. Oh, hang on. Let me just make this bigger and let me bring it up. Oh, you did. Oh, good on you.
finally.
Oh, sorry. This hasn't actually come up yet. Sorry, 2 seconds. Got to press that button again.
Yep.
So, Chuck,
My,
these are all your trips that you've done, correct?
Yeah, these are I suppose you'd call the extremities of Tasmania that I've done. Yeah.
So you did Cockle Creek. Good on you. That's
Yep,
good.
I did.
That's a
Did Cockle Creek and Bruny Island last summer, and Flinders Island last summer.
Was mine? No.
Oh,
But just in
yes.
the just the weekend before Easter, actually, I went up to Arthur River. Finally went to the edge of the world.
Yes. And yep, and below and down there, I think if I recall correctly, that's all dirt, isn't it? I think that's dirt road. Or is that still sealed?
Just
there?
past that little bit where it turns off at the bottom there, there's a couple of pixels worth of dirt road there.
Just
Yeah,
here.
that bit. That's dirt road. yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I went down that way and thought, no, I'll go back towards Arthur River. I didn't go through Corinna though. So where the
river is there. Yep. So that's here. I'm guessing that's here. That's Corinna here.
It's a bit
is that
further
right?
inland, but yeah,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Here. Yeah, it's here.
somewhere like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. Well, maybe you know, but we obviously know better than me. Do you know? Can you recall what this road's called? Whatever highway or something. There is a link between here and there.
It's the Western. I can bring it up for you. Western, not connector. Western
Something.
something.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So, and for those that are curious, it's all dirt and it's really rough. And I dragged a caravan with my Performance Model Y, which is an inch lower than the normal Model Y. Yeah, and suffice to say, I've collected that car had collected a fair bit of Tassie dirt and other bits underneath it, on its battery pack and in every nook and cranny you could think of, dragging itself along.
Yeah,
But
I'm just
good
trying to
on
find
you.
the
So
map.
you went to the end of the world then. That's so as a
Edge
edge of the world.
That's right.
And yeah.
That's right. And
Fantastic.
my main reason for going there was that I got a couple of destination charges through the referral program last year. And so I was basically up there knocking on the doors of any business who would listen to me, asking if they wanted to install one.
Oh yeah, right.
Because there's nothing there past Smithton, which is where that
Correct. Yep.
where the corner of the yellow
let me
is
just
there.
bring it up. I'll just bring it up. I did use Smithton. That's just up here.
Yep.
Yep. So you go and you went to Stanley. Very good. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah. Yeah. So unfortunately none of the businesses there seemed that keen. The couple that were interested wanted a charger that could be metered so they could charge for it. I'm thinking you'll get like 1 or 2 cars a week max for like $2 or $3 each. But yeah, that's what they wanted. But actually, of all the organisations, the Parks and Wildlife Service Office was the most interesting because they said they're redeveloping the area out the front of there, and
Yep.
who knows, they might. I might try and word them up on a 50 kilowatt or a 22 kilowatt DC charger. Maybe.
Yeah, why not? I mean, look, to be honest, anything that's got any charging is great because, look, you can't predict if you've made an error or something's not working, even if it's AC.
Yep.
It means you won't be stranded, and you won't be.
Yep, that's it.
And not all cars. And of course, the great thing about a Tesla wall connector is it can be configured to charge all EVs, so it's not just Tesla only. So that's great. And of course, it's appropriate to charge all EVs because we're all part of the EV family. But yeah, you could make an error, or there could be a component failure in something else, and it just gives you that. It means it's the difference between having to knock on someone's door and going, "Can I plug in my mobile connector and draw 10 amps from your power point?" Which many EV owners don't have a ultra slow emergency backup charger.
Yeah,
because I mean, look, Tassie. Let's face it. If you bring it up on PlugShare, which I won't do right now, but it's for the size of the state, it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah.
But again, you can never have too many. Really, there's always great to have others around.
Yeah.
And
That's
also,
right.
Chuck,
One of the biggest frustrations I found here on Easter Monday was a lot of the Tesla charging spots were saying 2 free, and you turn up and it'd be a BYD or something else parked in the wrong one, and all these people were turning up and there was no free ones. It's not blaming it. A longer cord from Tesla would have solved that problem.
Yeah, and James, Tesla can make it easier. Like just off the top of my head, at Geelong, the chargers are set up so the stalls are
back to back.
they're all forward park.
Yeah.
But if you think of the stalls the parking bays are head to head, and all the chargers are in the middle, which means it doesn't really matter whether you reverse in, forward in, whether you're a BYD or whatever. There's always a combination whereby you probably won't be messing someone up, and even if you did, they can just go to the next one, or it's a classic problem, which is solved if you make the stalls like a service station, whereby they're all drive-through, and the stalls. So if you have 2 lines of lanes and you put all the chargers down the center, and they're all parallel parking, then even if you have to go on the wrong side of the road or parallel park into a bay, that kind of setup is universal because the person to go, Chuck.
I was going to say, like the WA EV network site at Southern Cross. That's a good layout, isn't it? I think it's Southern Cross.
Yes,
Not sure.
yes, and in fact, I'll do better than that because Kogenup is probably the best site on Earth.
Yes, that's right. You've got your drone video. Is that what
yeah, but I just look on PlugShare because I don't have these all this stuff at hand. Because I don't, unlike Joe Rogan and others, I don't have a producer sitting in the background where I go, "Hey, just snap." Let me just bring up Kogenup, and that's a classic because it literally doesn't matter which way you enter it, and you can go against the flow and get the job done. So I'm just bringing up. Oh, that's interesting. That says I'll bring up the supercharger. There's multiple pins. Okay, so look, that one will do. So this is the supercharger, and in fact, the WAV Highway chem powers are just to the right of the screen. But because they're set up like this, it doesn't matter what anyone does. Doesn't matter what car you've got. If a BYD sits on this side, whereas a Tesla would normally go on that side, then you can just use this one coming this way or that way. It's universal.
Yep.
These are all drive through. This is the ideal layout because it really doesn't matter where or what someone drives.
Yeah.
It's literally universal. And even when it's chockers, when you've got I don't know if Shane's still in the room, but you got idiots like Shane who've got a horse float, and then you've got BYD, and then a Tesla, and then another idiot in a Model Y that's thinks it's funny to tow a Hyundai i20 on a tandem trailer. Then you've got someone else that's got a pop-up caravan.
Yeah,
And then you've got
I
this,
was there. That was right, Harold.
and this person who's got this weirdo sculpture, whatever, on a trailer. It wouldn't have mattered which direction any of them were going to, or what was in the bay or blocking the bay. You could always just work yourself out. So
Yeah.
that's really the ideal layout for any EVs.
I think that horse float was responsible for a minus 1.6%, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm so glad you're here, Shane, because I recall having a discussion with Shane, and it was something along the lines of Shane goes, "Oh yeah, I can probably just go straight to Kojonup," and I go, "Shane, I reckon you're going to be like pretty low even at Williams." And Shane goes, "Nah, mate, she'll be right." And so you mentioned a number there, Shane. What was that? Where did that happen?
I think it was about minus 1.6. And I do believe it was on the way into Williams. Mind you, I didn't slow down until I was about 50 Ks out of Williams. So, but I did also know that I had, 15 kilowatt hours in the caravan in front of me. So,
Oh
wasn't
yes,
that
so
bad.
that's right. So actually,
Yeah,
that
behind the Atto, there's a
caravan,
caravan.
that caravan's this one here. You can't see it, but there's the Atto dragging a caravan. And just as a reminder, Shane and Sarah were the first people in Australia to do what was up until then, and kind of still is, the insane mission of driving an EV around Australia while towing a caravan. And those two people were the pioneers of that.
And not just any EV, a 2000, was it a 2019 Model 3?
Nah, 21.
But standard range.
Standard range. Yeah, standard range 21. Yeah.
And it's the worst standard range because it's the old Fremont.
No, it's not. No, mine's not. Mine's the what do you call them? The
LFP.
unicorny things with the big motor and the LFP battery pack out of China.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had the lithium. Sorry, the NMC, nickel manganese
I got
cobalt.
lithium.
No, sorry,
Yeah,
NCA,
no, I got
nickel cobalt aluminium.
no, I got lithium batteries.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm off, guys. It's late here.
All right, no worries,
11
James.
o'clock
Great
at
to
night.
see you. I look forward to seeing you maybe next week, which would be cool.
Next Wednesday should be Catherine, maybe
Let's hope that big
on
cyclone.
a slow charge.
Yes, sadly so. Yes. Go suss out the Beagle Inn if you
Oh.
wanted to stay there, because there's charging. We know this, James, already. There's a 3-phase at the Beagle Inn. Just see if they're capable of receiving as in, after the flood and stuff.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Take care, James. Um,
Yeah, no, sorry.
So-
So I've got the lithium batteries, and at I think it was about 168,000 or thereabouts. I did the battery test thingamo, and it come back at like 93% or something. It was well and truly, and I swear the first 5 or 6% went in the first 2 years, and then it's just slowed down since then. It's barely moved.
Yep.
But to be fair, I keep the car on percent. I don't see what the Ks say, so I don't actually really know how it's going.
Yeah, and the Ks. If you have your Tesla on kilometers and it says whatever it says, and you drive in the open road, you're not going to get what the
No.
the kilometers on the little battery symbol says at all. However, as your battery gets lower and lower, it will become more and more accurate in the sense that zero is still zero. So as you get closer to zero, the accuracy of it telling you you'll be at zero in 50 kilometers or 30 kilometers or 100 kilometers is much more accurate than when your battery is full and it says, oh, you can go 500 or 400 and something Ks or whatever it says. So, I mean, that's just kind of maths logic, but you won't get caught in the low range. And bearing in mind Tesla's energy meter, trip planner is quite good, but there are some minor limitations that we've discussed previously.
Yeah. The that's probably unlike a petrol car. In any petrol car I ever had, you know, it says sort of 50 Ks left to go, and then or diesel car, it says 50 Ks left to go, and you sort of like you start getting pretty nervous around that. And I've had them drop out at well less than 50 Ks.
Yes.
You just got to go up a bit of a hill, and all the fuel runs to the wrong end of the tank, and now you've got a problem.
Actually, twice, Shane, I've been in a conventional fuel car, and it conked out 20 meters from the Bowser, and I coasted to the Bowser. Perfect.
I do believe you've done that in EV too, haven't you, Harold?
Possibly. Alrighty. Chuck, it's late for you, so if you got any please stay by all means. We're gonna finish at the latest in 20 minutes anyway. But anything else that you wanted to mention or whatever? Yeah,
well, talking of sites that are friendly for towing, I think the 149th supercharger in the country. So it's the second last one. I put a picture of it in the chat there. That was at Merimbula, which is on the far south coast of New South Wales.
Just press the button that didn't work. I'll press it again.
Yeah, it's only 125 k's from the Cairn River site, which is one that was in the news a bit for being crowded. But this one here has two. Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. No, you go, Chuck. You go.
Yeah, so this site, it's 8 stalls total, and 2 of the stalls are towing friendly. You can see the one down the far right there, right on the edge of the property. And I guess that must be long vehicle parking or something like that. And then the one in the middle between the stalls.
Yes.
So so that's a good towing friendly site.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is actually what I was going to do, but I realised I was interrupting you, Charles, was that this is a very similar layout to New Italy, where the principle is you've got the main lineup of reversing in superchargers or stalls, and then you've got, and I think you're right, Steve, you've got 2 other ones that are located sort of slightly away from it, which gives the opportunity for caravans and let's call it more universal access, which is really cool.
Yeah, very cool. There's also another couple of pictures I've dropped in there, which are kind of on a totally different topic.
So was that beforehand or just then, Charles?
Just beforehand. The 2 pictures.
Oh, okay.
With the guy in front there.
Sorry, mate. Might they have been links? I can see your Tassie one. I can. Oh no, sorry. Oh, I thought. Sorry. Yep.
That's all right. Yeah. So
that's.
So I'll give a bit of background. People might know that Electric Highway Tasmania was established by a bunch of AVA members in Tassie.
Yes.
Who basically pooled their funds and got some government grants and built out the charging network. I don't know if it's well known interstate, but late last year they sold the whole company to NRMA.
I know, we're upset, Chuck. We're worried for you.
I know it's a bit nervous, a bit nerve-wracking, but it's all still running, so that's okay. But this is Clive, the guy who did all the hard work with that network. He did all the running around on his own dime, negotiating with the councils and things like that. And behind him is a Farazon, I think the brand is Farazon electric van.
Yep.
His new business, I guess you could call it. He plans to import a bunch, or I don't know how many exactly. I don't know if it's public knowledge, but he plans to import these vans and convert them to campers, and then had them for hire around Tassie.
Oh, awesome!
People can fly over and they can drive electric and camp wherever they can find a spot. and that's
Yeah,
sort
that's
of his,
really
yeah, that's his new little business. And I think they only have a range of about 300 k's, but that's all right.
Please don't
Because
sell.
if you go further than the 300 k's, you fall off the edge. So
yeah, too
Please
right.
don't tell Sarah that. Please don't tell Sarah that you can get an EV camper. Please don't.
I think it's too late, Shane. It's just a little bit that horse is now bolted. It's on the interwebs, or it will be shortly. I actually met him in Launceston when I
Oh,
was
yeah.
charging. It must have been with my caravan. In fact, it would have been absolutely with the caravan.
Yeah.
So
At King's Meadows, next to the Coles.
I can't, next to the shopping centre.
Yeah. Yep.
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 And it's actually quite difficult. I mean, it's easy for a single car. For a caravan, it's a bit more challenging. And
Yes.
what I had actually done was I had, I don't know, double parked or parked across the bays, but I was
You were there.
acutely aware of not wanting to be an EV hole. So I've got a laminated A5 thing that says I'm currently charging, but I'll be back soon, and it has my phone number. So if anyone turned up and saw some idiot West Sandgroper with a caravan blocking the bay, they could have just rung me straight away. But I very quickly went to the shopping centre and got whatever it was I wanted to get, and then came out, and then I saw him, and then we had a nice chat, and
Right.
he didn't need charging, and then he explained all about how these chargers. Well, this was when I saw you last, Chuck, in Hobart. So that was
Yeah.
a couple,
Very-
and Shane was there as well.
2
So
years-
a couple of years
2 years ago at least. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
I've just put a picture of you in the chat. You want to bring it up while you talk about it?
Yeah, cool. That was that was there. No, yeah, it was there. That's a shopping centre, isn't it?
Must have
That's
been
in
it, yeah.
Launceston. Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
Yep, and that was with the variety stickers and stuff like that, with the pop top there and the solar
That's it.
panels, and yeah. So as you can see in the picture, I'd covered everything because it just through necessity. But wow, that was pretty good sleuthing there, Chuck.
Yes.
Yes, it was good to have almost instant fact checking that this bald-headed guy wasn't actually lying about being in Launceston.
That's right. You're
So I recalled
putting your
correctly.
pictures everywhere, so we can always find them. So it's always good.
Well, I do. Look, and that's the great thing about PlugShare is I don't normally post pictures incessantly, but if I'm doing a lap or something, well, then yeah, that's different. But
Yeah. That's the
very
same.
good.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
that site's actually been upgraded. It has an extra 50 kilowatt 50 kilowatt charger on the end now, so it's got 3 stalls instead of 2. Big upgrade.
Oh, cool. Okay, so that's to the right. That's where that Mazda. That
that's
thing
it.
here. So it's here. Oh yeah, cool, awesome.
That's it.
And are these still the PKMs or whatever they're called? These tridiums, they're still there.
Yeah, it's the same hardware. It's just it's actually been rebranded. Those ones there were back when it was owned by RACT.
Yep.
Then EHT bought the site from them.
Mm-hmm.
And now NRMA's bought the site from EHT, but it still has the EHT branding.
Yeah, right.
I'll just put another photo in actually once it loads.
I don't want to.
Not that everyone wants to see it, I suppose, but yeah.
Oh no! Look, I mean, we look. Hopefully, some of us will actually get to Tassie and have a cruise around. Okay, so you can see that's an RT. Oh no, that's an
That's a 50.
RTM. Oh no, is it?
It's
No,
the
that's the
original.
old RT. Wow. Yes, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Understood.
they upgraded some other sites to Chempower sites, and they pulled out
Yep.
the old RT50s, and they just put one of the spare ones here.
Yeah, okay. So that's good because you've got the 2 other ones as backups because there's only 2 kinds of tritium chargers. Those that aren't working and those that won't work. They're either broken or they will be broken.
Yes.
Sadly, it's sad to say.
Yes, I was actually lucky. I pulled up to that exact site last weekend, and there was a Kia EV6 in front of me, and there were 2 spaces free, the 350 and the 50. I thought, oh, that guy's going to get the fast one. Fortunately, he was a new owner. He didn't know the difference, so I got the 350 and didn't say anything. But anyway,
And I know it's really, really polite to say, "Oh, look, my bad. I just thought I'd let you know. Maybe you, since you're here first, you should just disconnect, and go into the fast one."
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the person you would have probably spoken to would have gone, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm happy."
Yeah.
I must admit, sometimes you just got to live your life and just do your own thing and go, "Oh, it's not your job to inform everyone or help everyone all the time, because
Yeah.
how far does it go?"
I mean, I'm always very happy too if it's not impacting my charging, but
Yes.
when I have to get somewhere, and it was Easter Saturday, so I didn't want to obviously risk running into issues. So I just thought I'll charge what I can and I'll leave.
Yeah, and sometimes, look, I've actually tried it on the older version 2 supercharger sites where I'll say, you know, I've been at a site, and then, in fact, this has been in Europe, where there are like a string of 8 superchargers, and they're all the old ones are in pairs. And of course, the trick is you always alternate. You try and have one gap at least between 2 stalls, so you're not sharing power. And I've seen people on an almost empty site park next to someone else, and I try and tell them in broken German or whatever, it's a really much better idea to park, and it just goes over their heads. And no criticism, it's just they're not into that sort of thing. So
yeah, and
yeah,
then Tesla realizes it's an issue, and they just develop the hardware to sort of work around that being an issue, I guess. In the long
exactly.
run.
Yeah, exactly right. Awesome. Well, that's
right.
Fantastic. You go, Chuck.
I was just saying I will stop monopolising the show with Tassie News now. So I'll take a break. Yep.
Fantastic. And in fact, it's getting towards our bedtime, or well past yours, Chuck, but
very close.
pretty close. Has anyone got any sort of closing-ish questions or comments?
I had a discussion on home batteries. I sent you a text to your phone, Harold, and
sorry.
all the states seem to be different. And apparently, the larger the batteries that you get, the higher kilowatts, the less that you're allowed to claim.
Yes. So I'm just sorry, Carmen. I'm just trying to put this on my OneDrive so I can flick it up on the computer. But no. So what happened was, in fact, there are 2 different rebates, and it seems the hardest one to get, the one with the most barriers, is the West Australian one. Yep. And a lot of installers have literally said to prospective customers, we can't be bothered with faffing around to comply with that thing and all that stuff. So a lot of them are saying, no, we're just going to do the federal government one. The federal government one has been grossly underestimated and oversubscribed. So I think they blew the budget very quickly. So then I think they've allocated, and Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've allocated more money. But what they've done now is, from all installations that occur after, I think it's after May.
May the 1st.
Oh, okay. So after April. So from the 1st of May, rather than you being able to get a 30%, I think it's a 30% rebate on any size battery system, I think for a house, or I don't know if it applies to commercial, but let's just say for a house for now, rather than it being a flat 30% for whatever the size you could afford or buy, it's tiered to, I think you get the full 30% if your battery pack is less. Pete, do you know these numbers?
Yeah.
Or it's Carmen, or do you know? No, it's not 30. It's much smaller. It's like, is it 12 or 15?
It's only, well, the example that I think I've sent, they start at 14. There's 20, 14, and 10, and the full 30% rebate is only on the smallest. So if you go to the larger ones, they give you less.
Okay, let me try and, here we go. We've got it. Right. Okay. So what you sent me, Carmen, was 2 seconds. I'll just check if it sent me anything else.
No, there was only that.
Oh yeah, okay. So what it is, okay, well let's just talk about this. So these are additional rebates.
Okay.
So on top of this, you have the federal government rebate, which is 30%. I think from memory, it's if the battery is no greater than about 10 or 12 kilowatt hours.
Yes,
Quite small.
the most was 20, and the least was 10.
Yes. Okay. So what I think it was
It's
was
14 kilowatt hours.
Yeah.
14. Okay. So if you had 14 or less, or let's just call it less than 14, you got the full 30% rebate. If the system battery storage grew between 14 and
28.
28, you got half the rebate.
60%.
Sorry, 60%. And if it was greater than
Between 28 and 50, it's 15%.
And beyond 50,
None.
it's zero.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
I think they range from 10,000 to 14,000.
oh, sorry, you mean on this
On that one. But it
yeah,
was the
so
same.
this is on top of
Okay.
the federal government rebate.
Okay.
So when it says local incentives through Synergy Horizon,
Yeah,
apparently many installers in WA have said we're not going to, if you want us to claim this, we're not, just use someone else. We don't, it's too hard. Apparently,
Yes.
I think the risk is on the actual installer, and if it doesn't comply, for the state scheme, you have to be a state government accredited battery installer, which is
Yes.
another level of paperwork that everyone's busy. They just go, I don't need this in my life. If you don't buy this system off me because I don't bother with the WA discount, there are 50 other people that are rushing to get stuff done, so we just can't be bothered. And then you've got the different additional rebates. Obviously, it looks like, oh, well, a zero interest loan, I mean, yeah, whatever. You know, a lot of people would, well, you know, you can always, that's not a great incentive. It's just a little bit of, you're saving whatever the interest cost is on money that you'd have either have in the bank or whatever. But my only form of criticism is that for anyone that runs a house that has an air conditioner in it that's not evaporative, and almost anything actually modern these days, and forget an EV, to have just 14 kilowatt hours of storage, it's not useless, but in experience that I've gained myself, if you've got a normal house, if you don't have at least 20 kilowatt hours, you always guarantee the battery will be going flat. And forget about, and at best, you might be able to struggle between the 3 and 9 p.m. super peak rate if you go on the daytime saver, just to get over that, maybe if you're careful. But
yeah, you want 30 minimum. I'd say.
Shane, and in fact, in winter,
and I've got an evaporative aircon. You want at least 30.
Yes, and actually 40 is closer to being pretty sweet.
Wow.
If you've got an EV, and you can do a little bit of, because sometimes people have to charge at night, you know.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little bit. Yeah. And even if it's a little bit. So if you really want a sweet spot, I believe, personally, is about 40 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
And what 40 kilowatt hours does, if every house in Australia had 40 kilowatt hours, well, basically it would remove most of the base load in summer completely, which is another story. But in winter, in the depths of winter, it allows you to fill up between 9 and 3 p.m. on a little bit of residual solar and mostly grid, but it will get you through all the night and into the next day. My regret is that the federal government is basically going to have a lot of people, you know, there's that saying, you have the working poor, that they have full-time jobs, but their income isn't sufficient to really have a great life. My concern is that people that they force themselves, or they're forced into buying a inferior sized battery. They're going to doom themselves to having something that's it's more what do you call it? It's a token battery. It does a little bit, but it doesn't really do enough, and it could have easily done so much more if it was just twice the size.
Yes.
And it wouldn't have cost that much extra. And anyway, that's just what it is.
Yeah, I thought the value that they showed was better for the larger ones, but they also did say that the rebate doesn't fall off on the 1st of May. It just gets less, so there is some left. So for people not to panic.
Well, it's too late anyway, because I know. Sorry, 2 seconds. Whoever said that? Oh, was that you, Steve? Oh yeah. 2 seconds. Friend of mine, John Edwards. He's a great EV charging advocate. He's been trying to double the storage of his SIG Energy thingy, which is great. And he doesn't want any rebates, doesn't want anything. He's got an installer that's very friendly and very accommodating. He goes, John, I'm not going to touch you until May because they are working 7 days and they literally cannot, they're just non-stop. It's just gone crazy. Sorry, Steve, go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can just back you up. I'm getting a third Powerwall, which will take me up to the 3940 kilowatt hours. And the installer said he didn't offer a rebate for Synergy. He's only given me the federal government rebate. So exactly what you've been saying, that's what's happening. And to fit me in for the Tesla rebate, that 750-ish
for
Powerwall 3, they're also going to install before the end of September, because that's when it runs out. You have placed your order by the 31st of March. So that's passed, sorry folks, and get it installed and commissioned before the 30th of September.
Yep.
So we're going to make that happen. And if you like, I've given up the potential for a state battery rebate just to get it done properly sooner.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I saw an interview on the ABC a long time ago where the solar guys are going, it's just too much faffing around. That they're too busy to bother to beg the WA government to go through all these hoops to get the golden orb of being a certified installer for the purpose of this rebate. They're going.
No, Harold, the solar scheme was the state scheme was an absolutely perfect scheme for the government. So, because just a week before the election, they got to announce it. And it was a, huge announcement. A lot of people were very happy with it. And so they announced a huge amount and they basically delivered nothing. So they before one battery was installed under the scheme, they had already reduced it.
Yep, that's right.
And they said it was the same amount of money, but in the background, they put all these conditions and all these hoops that the installers and everyone else had to jump through, that they made it so hard that they wouldn't have to basically deliver any. Now, if you've got a new installation, it's somewhat easier, but for a existing installation, we're just trying to add a battery. It's basically not worth the money that you're going to get, because the additional money that you're going to have to spend to make your battery compliant under the scheme is probably more than what you get from the incentive anyway. So
they were saying it would take about 3 years to pay off as an average of having a medium type battery. I
think that's very optimistic, Carmen. I think that's very, very optimistic. I'd say at best twice that time.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised because they normally like to make big announcements to get the headlines, but there's always conditions and it's all in the detail. and I've never seen it work. It's like the rebate on solar panels. It's just worthless. Yeah.
Yeah, the government loves to make big wants to announce everything and deliver nothing,
Yes.
because that's how they're incentivized.
Yeah.
Because the more you announce, the more,
You'll be seen to be doing something. but
exactly,
not
and
actually.
the more exposure you get,
Yeah.
and people think
Yeah.
you're,
Yeah.
spending a lot of money,
Yeah.
and then when it comes to budget time, you bring in a budget that's balanced, and you look like a great economic manager.
Yeah.
But that's because 3/4 of what you announced, you never delivered.
It's all very misleading. Even the Synergy, the water ads by the Water Corp, they're sort of frightening people in saying they're wasting buckets and buckets of water. But the water is not the biggest cost. The water is actually quite reasonable. The
It's the
use of it,
piping.
it's the fees that make it, and they're getting people to save using small amounts of water, which are not the cost. Yeah, they're great at doing those sort of misleading, pretending to be holier than thou and wonderfully generous. But when you really look at it, there's not a lot there.
It's like I heard on the radio, Bill Gates's PR manager saying that he's looking forward to answering questions in the Epstein inquiry. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure he's jumping out of his skin. I'm sure he can't wait, to be under oath,
So
have to answer questions.
taking it back to an Australian context, a classic example of an announcement basically leading to almost nowhere was on the 26th of April. I just pressed a button. Sorry, it should have gone across. On the 26th of April, coming up on this 26th of April, it will have been 3 years since Minister Bowen and the federal government, as shown in this map, announced a 117 site national fast DC EV highway. And all of these dots used to be mostly green, and the green ones are all in the plan. And then the red ones, and notwithstanding some of these, there are a few others. I didn't really concentrate too much on some of these around here, which may have, I think, obviously Mittagon's been done and a few others. But what we care about is going around Australia.
Can you slide it across so we can see their summary? No, the other way. I want to see I want to see what their dots are. What they represent.
Yeah, you should be able to see the dots there, Carmen. I've got them full.
Legend.
Yeah. So, okay, so the green site is the planned sites with federal partnership contribution and some locations identified. And this was all of these. And in fact, these red dots were also, they used to be green. The red dots are completed. So I've just changed the colours to be the completed. In WA, by the way, there are 2 sites only. Cataby, this red one here, and Manjimup, this red one here.
Oh, wow.
2. Out of all of these that were
That's
promised
ridiculous.
nearly 3 years ago, 2 have been installed. And by the way, for context, it was James who was, before you arrived, Carmen, he was mentioning Border Village wasn't working properly, Nullarbor wasn't working properly. I think that's Sejuna. So that's coming, that's almost done, that's nearly finished. But and these other red ones are completed. All these green ones are not. And these black ones are locations where there is no DC charging of any kind whatsoever. That's why I labelled them as black spots with no DC charging. And these have not been completed to date. 3 years after a $38 million federal government announcement, which earlier on we were lamenting that Chris Bowen has basically admitted defeat, and the 3 strategies are try and chuck a whole lot more money at this, which is never going to happen because of budget constraints and economic cycles and stuff, various crises going on.
Oh no, because they've got to spend $250 million, giving a 50% haircut to the fuel excise tax. Plus
No, it's
what
not a
the
quarter of a billion, Pete. It's two. I thought it was 2 billion. It's going to be 2 billion. That cost for the 3 months relief of
right.
let's call it the excise on diesel across the board, which is for heavy trucking and domestic vehicles.
So
Because in
2
heavy
billion.
trucking
So
they call it a road user charge, but it's applied through the fuel cost. And for petrol and diesel passenger vehicles, it's just the fuel excise. So it's going to that 3 month. I think it's a 3 month program. Is going to cost $2 billion.
so $2 billion for 3 months for internal combustion engine cars versus what is it, $28 million
38.
for $38 million
38.
for basically the next decade if it's done properly
Yes.
for EVs.
So
And
so
yeah,
yeah. So if instead they spent 10% of the $2 billion, that would be $200 million. This would all be gold plated and reliable.
yeah.
And that's not to be flippant about what $200 million is. That's a lot of money. And not to be flippant about it's right that truckies have relief because they explained the problem with truckies is they pay for the diesel today for all the
Yep.
jobs they do. They don't get paid for 90 days, 60, 90 days. They will go broke continuing to operate before they even get paid for the fuel levies and stuff they apply to the jobs today. Their increased cost in diesel today will bankrupt them before they even get payment
Yes.
and all that sort of stuff. So governments need to do things when there's a crisis, but it is frustrating to see that, like I said, a scheme that was announced
Yeah.
nearly 3 years ago has gone effectively nowhere, and where the black spots are, this is
Yeah.
where you needed it the most. And look, Mataranka was a black spot, Catherine was a black spot, Three Ways or Warramungu was a black spot, Alice Springs and that's okay. That those few black spots, Mount Isa, but these ones are true black spots, which it looks like it's probably never going to get done. Because to say, oh, let's just it actually was, let's just not do anything in the hope that commercial companies or private companies will install chargers on a commercial basis. I mean, the chances of that is literally none. You know, that's why governments of all persuasions do things like local government provides rates and rubbish collection, because what private company is going to do that or bother? State governments do local roads and other things and whatever, and stuff, and the federal government does other things. The role of government is to make things happen where private enterprise would not bother to do things because it's not commercial.
Yeah.
That's why we pay taxes, to get things done
Yes.
for the greater good.
Yes, I know, but it's more a question of be seen or be heard for something. But if you follow it all the way through, you find out most of them have hidden agendas and they don't work as designed or as told. And then the excuses come up. Yes.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it's very frustrating. You know, I've done a few laps, and in many respects, some of my earlier laps when there were almost no DC charging were simpler in the sense that I knew what I was up against. I knew it would take a certain amount of time, but it would always take exactly that amount of time. Now, most of the charges are so unreliable that you can't plan anything because you
Yeah,
never
it's
know
like
what you're
playing
going to get
Russian
next.
roulette.
It's like playing Russian roulette. It's like, and you can get a cascade of these things. And the problem is, again, like everyone said, governments are great at announcing things. They'll even install things. They'll plant a flag, declare victory, and walk off. You know,
I've seen a lot of that.
it happens all the time. Anywho, it is past our bedtime.
So the summary is don't bother about batteries just yet.
No. Do bother about batteries. I would encourage anyone on a personal level, if you can, actually, like Pete warned. So if you can, or if you have or can get lots of solar, and you can combine it with a good amount of batteries, yeah, it'll still be a multi-year payoff. But sometimes that's not the only reason why you do it. Some of the battery inverter systems are great because they act like UPSs, uninterruptible power supplies, like Tesla's super Powerwalls do,
Powerwall.
and the SIG Energy does, and a few others. Not all of them, but some others do. So you've got additional benefits. So yes, I'm saving money, but I had to spend money. But if you're away on a holiday and for whatever reason there's some extended power outage, and whatever the contents of your fridge and freezer are, thaw out while you're away and there's nothing you can do about it, and then possibly even refreeze and re-chill, but are rotten, and you've lost the entire contents of your fridge, that can be a fairly high cost, and the clean up, and like I said, Murphy's Law says that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It'll go wrong in the worst possible time. In fact, if Shane was still here, I don't know if he, no, he's not. Yes, he is.
I am. I'm still here.
You lost all your stuff, didn't you? Like tons of stuff, fish and stuff, while you're on your lap. At Gidgee.
Yeah, I
you
have
did.
lost my stuff. I'm going to counter your argument though, because the RAC came to my rescue on that one.
Yeah, okay. Well, you were lucky. So you had a rescuer, but not everyone does. Murphy's Law says the rescuer won't come and all that stuff.
I mean RAC insurance paid for it. So
Oh, yeah, but did they pay for you to smell the rotten fish that was in your chest freezer that you had to
Yeah,
clean out?
that was a bit rank, yeah.
Would you have preferred not to have gone through that experience?
Yeah,
Possibly.
probably so. Yeah.
So there you go. So the difference is if you've got a good battery system and a good inverter, a good solar system and battery and inverter, even if you're away, the worst might happen is the battery might go flat for a few hours and then you lose power, and then it wakes up when the sun gets up, and then it runs, and then everything just sort of keeps on going through. So anyway.
Yeah, it's a
Whereas
convenience.
if I'd left my batteries in my house instead of putting them in my caravan, then
Oh
I'd
yeah,
been
that's
fine.
right. Yes. Yeah, but yes.
Well, the other point is, where do you install them for best efficiency? Because you're not supposed to install them inside the house, are you? Like in the garage.
No, there's no. We will have to end up soon, but just very quickly, there are rules and it's really esoteric. You can't install a new battery system on a wall that is adjacent or borders a habitable space on a house.
Okay.
The weird thing is, if it borders if it's on a
that.
brick wall.
Sorry, how you
hang
can
on, so
do that. There's conditions.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right. You have to do certain treatments to the wall and stuff. But if the wall is next to a laundry or a family room and a storeroom and lots of other different places in a house, they don't really care if it blows up and burns up and sets fire to that room. You can't have it in next to a bedroom and certain other there's all these weird rules.
You wouldn't want.
Well, actually, to be honest, they're very safe generally. So, but there are some esoteric rules. The point is, if anyone wants to install a battery or buy a battery, the installer will do a survey of your house and go, we can put it here and here and here and here, or we're allowed to, or we have to put this elaborate 1 inch thick, basically fire barrier against a wall that's not compliant or whatever. And that'll have a cost and
A sheet of
aesthetic.
A sheet of fiber cement complies.
Yes.
Okay.
So
it's really not that hard. If that's your only option, then it's really
Yes.
not that hard.
So anything, but you can almost guarantee. No, and you could, if you're in a multi-apartment dwelling or something, I think you might be able to put it inside, but it has
I
to
won't be ever again, Harold.
But no, that's exactly right, Carmen. That's another story. All right, we're getting really late. We should be hygienic and try and stick to our rules.
Yes,
but
yes.
all right, so Pete, how would you round out an awesome show like this as if I didn't already know?
So always stay safe, stay sustainable, and stay ahead of the curve.
And the best way to do that is buy a Tesla, join Tokwa, and ask us anything about accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy and abundance. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and I really look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of Tokwa's Ask Us Anything. Good night, everyone.
Fabulous. Good night, guys.
I think